Gallatin County Board of Education regular meeting to order. All board members are present. Stand for the pledge, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'd like to welcome everyone. See what kind of agenda.
How's Izzy doing? She's gonna have a successful.
Share that, Jake. I need a motion to approve the agenda. Also move. No
Second.
changes. Mr. Jones seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Moving on to public comments. Hearing no public comments, moving on to board member comments. Ms. Becky.
I just want to remind those of us that are able to make it of the regional meeting, Kenton County Board of Education. The date, it's the first Monday in September.
Second, maybe.
It's not after Labor Day, it's the week before Labor Day, which is different this year, but 5:30, 6 o'clock, Kenton County Board of Education, Independence. I believe that's all I have.
Ms. Mander.
Just want to give compliments to the maintenance. I think our campus is looking really good, landscaping, everything, but it's looking really nice. So shout out to them and everyone else.
Ms. Ashley.
Yeah, everyone else that started the school here. And we're still going, so that's a compliment, right? No, I don't have anything besides that. Good job, guys.
Mr. Jones.
Just a question, what's our numbers looking like on kindergarten and first grade?
So currently, and I think you've got the report in your stack, we're sitting at 98 right now to begin the year.
I know that was the area we were gonna look at.
Mhm.
Yeah.
What's that do with our, recommended sizes by the state? We're good?
So we've got 2 at 24 right now and 2 at 25.
Cap size 25?
We only have 4 kindergarten teachers?
Yes, yes. So that's right there on the line. It's an average, amongst the 4. So I think we're sitting right on it. So we'll kind of see how that settles over the next, few weeks, and if they keep showing up or if some, move out. So we'll, I don't know if that's a decision that needs to be made today, but it's definitely something that, we're looking at.
Are we of the opinion that if it's, assume 25, so if we get more than 100, so when we hit 101, are
That's-
we looking at adding a spot?
That's definitely something we could potentially be looking at doing if it continues to grow and we get an influx.
Did we have 5 last year?
Had 4 last year.
Because it says here our graduating class last year was 23 kids larger, so we handled it last year?
It means graduating from 12th grade.
Gotcha, it
Yeah.
says incoming kindergarten, okay,
Yeah.
that's where I took
A
that.
couple years ago, I think we had 5.
I just know,
Yeah, we've
In
always
particular,
fluctuated,
Harvest
and then we have to
and
move one, it's awful.
expressed our thoughts that we think everything that we can get in the beginning
Yeah, last
helps
year,
us all the way through.
last year that group was, that moved to first grade was at 88, so there have been, more that have come in this year, which is, always a good thing. But, we're, something we've got our eye on, and if it continues to get bigger, we'll let you know. Okay.
I think that's the only question I have. I've got questions on the tax stuff when we get
Yeah,
to
we'll
that.
get there.
Do I have to reserve that, or is
Yes.
I reserve my right.
Reserve time, reserve.
Mr. Chairman, I have one more
Go ahead,
issue.
Ms.
Could
Murphy.
I ask? Where are we on transportation, our numbers? Like, what are they looking like?
As far as.
Overcrowded buses, any?
The
So I
routes.
think we had one route that was a little crowded earlier this year. They switched it to a bigger bus. They were looking to potentially move some things around. I have not talked to Shelley since yesterday, so I have not heard of any other issues as it relates to that. But that's definitely something, at the beginning of the year, we're in contact about, just making sure everything, because, in talking to her this year, after the first day, her comment was it felt like half the county moved from one side to the other, because crowded routes from one side of the county, now there's more room on those buses, and buses on the other side of the county are more crowded than they have been. So until they step on the first day for some of these, we just don't know how many kids. And so they're working and shifting a few things around, but I can have you an update on that
How many of our
for the next
Hispanic
meeting.
children did we lose?
Well, when we get there, we'll talk about it,
Okay.
but it's down.
That's all, thank you.
The only thing I got is, girls golf today. I didn't see how the boys finished. We finished, second in all A's.
Nice.
And then Grace, she finished fifth in the tournament, so she gets to go to state again this year. They done a good job over there. Our girls team did. They're young, and in the next year or so, they're gonna be a powerhouse.
I say my one's the one that beat by.
Reserve and everything else I got to say to that.
No answer to this.
School staff reports. You said a student board member would be around September, but
Yes.
you didn't elect one.
Yes, they're in the process.
Enrollment attendance report. Mr. Eddie Bushelman. Extraordinary floor years.
All right, so you have I know there were some enrollment questions here a second ago. You have that document in front of you. Overall, attendance is down 35 compared to this time last year, down 27 compared to the end of last year. So I added a couple extra columns there to give you some comparison from last August as well as last May. As Miss Amanda pointed out, graduating class of seniors was 23 kids larger than our incoming class of kindergartners. So we did mention that at the end of last year in a May board meeting that would probably, I think that was our third largest class in the district last year. So that's some of the discrepancy. Interestingly, our number of Hispanic population is down 23 compared to this time last year. It was 177 last year. Don't know any rhyme or reason to that. Just thought that was an interesting data point. School attendance so far is down about 0.5% compared to this time last year, with, I guess, roughly 4 days under our belt when I started to run these reports. I don't know if the sample size is large enough to really kind of get worked up about that quite yet. Otherwise, looking over some of the questions that were just a second ago, looking at our kindergarten numbers. Last year we opened up this time of the year at 94. We're currently at 98. In May we ended down at 92. Same thing with kindergarten and second grade in the lower elementary school. Our enrollment was up at the beginning of the year, and all 3 grade levels trended down by May. So as you guys are keeping an eye on things, and there was already some of that what if conversations happening, at least looking back at last year's trend data, you can kind of see how that was moving. High school has a good population of kiddos. They have the largest class in the district of 10th graders. So well over 400 kids in our high school. Other than that, I think there's no other things that really scream or jump off the page. You guys can kind of read that and see if you have any questions or comments or anything like that.
So we're down between 140 and 150K in SEEK. And those 35, that'd be correct,
35 times what, 4,800, something like that?
4,800. Yeah, please, 140 and 150 down.
As of right now, another factor I did want to mention was a lot of schools are actually starting tomorrow. Sometimes folks kind of hang out. I actually was talking to Kent County's DPP last night and earlier today about a couple kiddos, so never know how those numbers might change once all regional school districts get in. So that could impact things a little bit. I don't think it's going to make up 30 plus kiddos, but that's another factor.
Somewhat related, we have enough bus drivers?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
We have extra?
We're getting a couple trained that would result in extra. What always typically happens is as soon as you get a couple trained, somebody is ill, hospitalized, maternity leave, something like that. So it's always hard to, Mr. Arvin and I just met a few days ago about that, because we're always looking to maybe include additional routes somewhere, but Shelley does a really good job of maintaining those numbers and getting folks trained, and you don't want to get yourself in a pickle where all of a sudden now you're short drivers. So you don't want to overextend yourself too far. So
Okay.
that is something that Mr. Arvin's always looking at, the possibility of expanding additional routes.
Okay, thank you.
Anything else? Thank you.
On your chart here, like you've got Hispanic enrollment and minority enrollment, so Hispanic's included in minority, right? That's
Correct. The minority number is basically
all minorities.
everybody minus white.
Okay.
And preschool opens next week. Tentatively, right now, we're looking at upper 60s for numbers.
67 pre-K campus tomorrow, so a few more could show up tomorrow, and then we've got 8 that are in evaluation for special ed for preschool.
How many do you have in kindergarten that you know of for special
For
ed?
special ed, right now, we have 8 kindergartners with IEPs.
What's your 67 preschool compared to last year?
We started about 70, 73 last year. Kind of moving in, moving out. We have had some neighboring districts ask if their preschoolers could come here, so that's something I need to look at. It's not something that we've necessarily accepted out of district before, because it's not attached to any funding, but
Can we charge them?
conversation that I think we should have down the road a little bit.
Interesting.
Miss Mary Jane.
So recently, Miss Forget has asked me to do a one-page sheet for you guys that might be a little simpler for you to understand. That's this colored sheet. This is just July's. I have one for the last 3 years for the year totals, but I want to change it up a little bit, so I'll have it next meeting. I changed some of the categories so they were easier for you. I wanted to let you know about the payroll and the expenses that's at the top. That does, in July, we don't pay teachers. But this number does include $384,000 for our workers' comp for the year. That goes into our payroll expense. So the July payroll is down. I wanted to give you a little heads up on the bottom. It's not unheard of that we are in the hole in July, August, and September. We don't get our revenues started until really November. They start collecting in October some, but our biggest check comes in November. The carryover money, the state considers that revenue. So I put it down there. That's what our budget sets at for the tentative budget that you approved right now. You need to know we're probably gonna lose, our audit just started, we're probably gonna lose about $150,000 of that carryover, which is a revenue that the state considers revenue. This monthly report that you will see is based on cash. And that is how I want to track stuff, so that I can see if the spending versus what we bring in. So at the top of the first part of this report is what we spent and the cash deposits that we put in the bank that month. So there are other two numbers in the budget, the carryover money, which is basically what's left over out of your budget from the year before, that the state considers revenue, and it's there, it's not a non-number, but I like to track real money, so.
I like this. This is awesome.
Okay, if you want to see anything else broken out a little bit separately, let me know, I can do
I was
that.
getting ready to do that to you.
What do you want to see?
How difficult would it be to show us July 26th beside it?
Oh, no, I can do that. I can do that and email it to you tomorrow if you like.
But just
Well,
moving forward, having the
next-
year before.
Just next month, if you have
Okay,
it beside it.
just have both months, the previous,
you don't
I
need
can
to
do
email
that.
it
That's
to
not
me.
a problem.
That'd be
It
nice.
just kind of gives us an idea of,
That is on one of your other reports. The other thing I wanted you to know, this packet of reports that you have, these are the reports, I wanted you to see them before I started doing it. These are the reports that I have selected, and I'm gonna compare these to other schools once everybody gets started doing it. These are the reports that we will have to post every month on the new website that's required by KRS. The balance sheet you're used to seeing, you've seen that before. The next one in your packet may be the AP check reconciliation register that they're asking for. Now, the state passed this law and listed a bunch of reports, but they didn't say what munis reports those correlated to. So all the CFOs are kind of scrambling, trying to figure out what's gonna be accepted. This is what most people are gonna, these are the checks that I cleared when I balanced the bank. That's all these are. I know it says check reconciliation register, which is what they said. This is what you get when you run that report. The other one is the monthly report. So you're used to seeing that one too. I think I used to do it on a spreadsheet, but it's the same exact information. And then the last one is the front page of the report. I just gave you the front page because it's 23 pages long. There will be 2 of these posted every month. One will be for the month, and the other one is required to be year to date. So these reports are going to get pretty big. You'll be able to see them on the website whenever you want. This is a list of every check that we printed and the invoice detail behind every check. So just for July's, it was 23 pages long. So by the end of the year, it's going to be huge.
Is there any chance when y'all send us the agenda, the Friday before we have our meeting, could you make a printout like this for me to pick up here?
Which one?
Just
All of them?
This stuff.
Yeah.
I absolutely hate looking at this stuff. These numbers on a computer.
Oh, you mean just print them out for
It's a
you?
lot.
Sure,
Well,
sure.
it's just, it makes sense to me when I've got paper and
I
I can look at it.
understand.
I'm old and make fun of me, I'm okay with it.
No,
But
I'm old too, John. I waste more paper here than anybody you can ask.
I just cannot
It's
stand
bad.
looking at those on a computer.
So and the munis reports are difficult. They're not easy to read. You know, I'm starting my 4th year. David, are we starting 4 years?
I think so.
3, good grief. I was only gonna be here 2.
What happened?
I don't know.
That's what I said.
And sometimes, you know, I'll run 2 different reports and I'll get 2 different numbers at the bottom. So
Grows on you,
they're
don't it?
frustrating to read. They're frustrating to figure
We
out. So.
just grow on you, don't we?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's it. That's it.
No
My
So,
story.
any questions?
So I'm curious about building rental in revenue.
So, is that the $13,000?
Yes.
That is the rent that OVEC pays us for Head Start
Okay.
every year.
Awesome. Okay.
That's what that is.
Great. Well, thank you for doing this.
And
Appreciate it.
if there's any numbers on there you want an explanation about, just shoot me an email.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, it looks good.
I like it.
Superintendent's report, Mr. David Arvin, our illustrious leader.
So, nothing new, that, hasn't already been shared kind of from the Friday email. School year's started well. We've been in all the buildings. Students have, and teachers are, getting everything going. We've got, high school gym floor is coming along nicely. Working on getting that taken care of so we can get it redone and get the gym opened back up. I can't think of much else, big that we've got going on around the district right now. So we're just enjoying seeing the kids back in the building and getting the year started.
Is there a reason why we didn't do the floor earlier?
Couldn't get them in. Just
Couldn't get 'em-
availability.
Okay, for the vendor?
Did they delay on us, or I thought it got
We
pushed
got
back
backed
a
up.
week?
We got backed up a week when they were supposed to start because they had a piece of equipment break, and while it was in the shop, but it ultimately, worked out because we had the funeral that allowed us to have that in the high school gym. So that ended up
Okay.
pushing it back to the starting the following Monday.
What day are they telling you right now that they think they'll be done?
I haven't talked to them since early yesterday. I didn't ask, so, but I could check with them and let you know.
Yeah, because I'm going to need Izzy back on that volleyball schedule.
I know.
3:30 to 5:30 instead of 5:30 to 7:30. It's like 4 trips.
Nobody wants to be inconvenienced. doing this.
No, not when you're retired like I am.
Moving on, anybody got anything else for Mr. Arvin? Everybody get a chance to look over, SBDM,
Yes.
HR actions? Moving on to item 7, consent agenda. Everybody get a chance to look over all that? Hearing no
Yeah.
questions, need a motion to approve consent.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Mr. John so moves,
Second.
Ms. Amanda seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Moving on to item 8A, approve second reading of policy 094232. I'll so move.
Second.
Ms. Becky seconds. Hearing no discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Review approved second reading of an employee handbook. Also move.
Second.
Mr. Jones seconds. All in favor, hearing no discussion, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries 5-0. Item 8C, review approved second reading of athletic program handbook. Also move.
Second.
Mr. Jones seconds. Hearing no discussion, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Item 8D, review approved KCTCS and Gateway MOA for 26-27. I'll so move. Ms. Ashley seconds. Anybody got any discussion on that? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Item 8E, review approved OneQuest service agreement for 26-27.
Let's see if you were gonna make the motion. You don't like that one, do you? We tying up now. I'd make a motion for it.
Mr. Jones so moves.
Second.
Who seconded?
Becky.
Ms. Becky seconds. Run over it real quick, Mr. Arvin.
So, you wanna,
Yeah, so they provide telehealth services for, really, they're doing our drug counseling for our students that, the vape service, they're providing one-on-one at no cost to us, no cost to the families. They do 1 day a week, we have the same therapist for the full school year. We actually have a new one this school year, but we set up a telehealth in Ms. Thompson's office at the high school. And then those students get on for a 45-minute counseling session in the high school.
So is this for the students that we recommend to take these cessation classes that we're sending over to the Wildcat Academy?
Yes.
Okay.
That has been the primary, they're gonna expand a little bit this year and do some other mental health services, along with North Key, but their primary function has been the drug cessation counseling.
And then they're billing.
Medicaid usually, but if not, it's actually free to families, so they have
So
some kind of grant.
if a family come in and said, hey, I'd like to use this, they can use it?
And we don't have Medicaid, then
Okay.
yes, they have a grant that they operate off of.
That was the only question I had on it, was who was paying. Like if a family can't pay, they ain't gonna get a bill in the mail, are they? Okay.
So can they request that on their own? So,
They could.
but my kid's here, he's not got caught with anything, but I know he's smoking and vaping, and I could come in and see the principal and say, hey, you got a program, can you hook me up?
Casey and Sierra would actually, the counselors would be the better people, or Candace Giles, our district social worker, but yeah.
and we've got 3 to 4 different people, if they were not a fit for one, that we partner with, that we could hook them up with, so.
No?
Hearing no further discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries 5-0. Approve temporary instructional aid for high school LBD, SPED teacher, Mr. Arvin.
So this is in the email from Friday, so someone that was in a program, that is no longer in that program, they're a good teacher, they're gonna get back in, one in January, but this is just something we have to do, for certification purposes from now, hopefully until Christmas.
But they're currently in that position, currently?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
Make a
I'll
motion.
Okay. Second.
John moves. Miss Amanda seconds. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Review approved yearly cybersecurity report. You're up, Mike.
All right, so I shared out with you the annual report that we do. We added a few things on this year. We have a new, last year the state quit paying for Trellix, which is our virus protection on our computers. So we went with another company from Forward Edge that does, like, I don't want to say AI, be the wrong term, but essentially their virus protection monitors our computers, and if something gets grabbed, it lets me know. I get an email. So like example, when we put them on all the devices, 39 of our computers had some kind of like adware on it that Trellix didn't pick up. So like that whole day I kept getting emails saying, we grabbed this off this computer, and then it tells me it's mitigated, it's been deleted, you don't have to do it, it's another step. So it kind of go ahead and gives us the next steps. So that runs constantly. The other big thing, like cybersecurity wise, is the state mandated, because you probably all got emails about it, rapid identity.
No.
Yeah, you haven't?
You gotta be kidding.
Yeah, 8 a.m. every morning.
Every single day.
Yeah, every day. So essentially that's supposed to help with our like safety and protection of our staff and our students, make sure our identity's not stolen, because everybody has multi-factor authentication now. That would be the whole text you a number when you log in kind of bit. I have a meeting with them and KDE on Friday so we can fully implement that, because right now it's just the claiming process. We're trying to get everybody. I think there was like 51 people left, but I haven't had a chance to go through the list because there's some people who are like, who resigned, but because they're not out of Munis yet, because everything comes out of Munis. So you were the talking point during all my meetings this year, because there's John Jones and John Jones 2, and they couldn't get over whatever, because now he knows, the guy remembers your name for the rest of his life, by the way. So.
There you
So.
go.
I have that effect on people.
Yeah. He won't forget you, trust me.
Yeah.
So, and then I included the reports that I can pull from, Sentinel-1 is the antivirus protection, and then we also get a weekly assessment threat from like the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, that they just try to poke in here and try to figure out something in, but they've never found anything. It's usually blank. We only have one thing really coming in and out, and that's our main internet that comes in here. So, because all our stuff comes into here and then spreads out.
So where we at with the, on the fiber, like you started from initially in on that end, then we had the next level, then the next level, then us. One of those was the second level got taken out.
We talked about this the other day. I haven't heard back from that. Like, so part of the, like, I know there's some going on in the state, and I know they had our CIO meeting today for the state. I didn't get to attend that one virtually.
Okay. I didn't know if you did or not.
No, I didn't get a chance to today. We had
Okay.
some things working on, but I was hoping they'd talk about it today. It's one of those things they don't talk about. They talk about it, but don't talk about it.
Somebody better be talking about it, because it affects everybody.
I know. But I'm just telling you, it's one of those things where they mention it, but they don't go deep into it.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So, but other than that, kind of where we're at. So.
Matt, you talked about the additional antivirus software that the state's no longer paying for.
Yep.
What is, with all the things they quit paying for last year, or even a little bit the year before, that we're now paying for?
Oh, Infinite Campus, Trellix, they're gonna kill off their Active Directory, so we're gonna have to change how we do that, handle all our accounts and systems. We're kind of in the middle of that transition now, but we may have to pay for some of that.
What's a ballpark?
Okay. 85.
Matt and I have talked about this, it's about $85,000
Yeah,
to date.
Yeah,
And
because
it'll
Infinite
probably keep going
Campus,
I was getting ready to say, you might want to recalculate that.
It's gonna keep going up.
It's gonna keep
because
going.
So far, we still haven't had to pay for any of that, but it's coming all year this year.
Matt, you had any white hats about hacking us?
that just the federal government, if you trust them, but no, I don't have it. I did meet one though at a conference.
Well, there's companies out there we can get to hack our system
Well,
legally.
yeah, I know. I met a guy at a conference this summer. He said if I ever want to pick his brain, I just got to email him. I just got to find his email. But that's what he does. Like he'll go and
Oh, they'll hack our whole system.
They try to, yeah. They'll try to sneak around. That's the other piece. I didn't really want to say this publicly, but there is part of the new virus protection, the phishing emails, so people don't click on things they shouldn't. It will allow staff now to just email me saying, hey, looks sketchy. It will be like, you can just click it and it reports it, and it does an automatic check for me and emails me and says, this is bad, delete this, block this person. Tell your staff just leave it
I
alone.
always
Or it
remember,
says-
man,
Nice.
it's like Jake tells me if I gotta think about it, please don't say that.
Yeah. Well, essentially, I'm not saying that it won't email you a fake phishing email and you click on it. You won't need to do some kind of training afterwards.
Also move to approve.
Uh-huh.
Second.
Ms. Becky seconds, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries 5-0. Approval to apply for opioid abatement grant, also move.
Second.
Ms. Amanda seconds.
How much? Do you remember?
500,000?
Up to,
Yeah.
200?
up to 500.
Oh, wow, okay.
So we'll see.
Here, we'll put a note out here that 500K.
Awesome.
I haven't heard anything about that. You know,
That's
who
zero,
is that?
zero
What do we do
two,
with that money?
025, so we'll see.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Now, what everybody's been waiting on, 2026, 2027 tax presentation with proposed rates. You want to start first, you want me to start?
You want me to start?
Go right ahead.
Okay, so, I've laid in front of everybody just, a series of 4 papers that has all the different scenarios laid out with, revenues and expenses that come through that. So, if you're looking at the top, you can see if we left our rate flat, which is essentially what we've done the last 5 years. You can work your way from left to right and see that would generate about 4.75 million in revenue to the district, which is about a little over 600,000 more than last year.
And that's at what percent?
That's at 64.9.
What percent did you calculate this?
That's at, looking at the top collection rate, so, in some information that I had sent you all before, I used the rate the state uses, which I guess is the average collection rate across the state, which is 94%, that's in that middle section. If you look at that section at the top, after talking to Mary Jane, Bud goes above and beyond, and 98.6 is the lowest rate that he has collected at. So you can see, the scenario I showed you before and one using Bud's collection rate, essentially no pressure to him, don't drop below it this year. But you can see what the differences that obviously makes in the revenue that comes in.
Where's the 94 come from?
That's what we get from the state.
That's their average?
Yeah, what they send out, and they tell us to estimate at a 94% rate.
But the top one's what we
98.6.
would've got last year.
Yeah, if you look at the third down at the bottom, so again, assuming 98.6, then that's 25.26. So, based on that previous year's tax rate information, so you can see, about, again, a little over 600,000 more brought in from that now, that is offset by decreases in seat funding. So as one goes up with an increase in property values, the seat funding that we get from the state goes down. Now, it's not dollar for dollar, but all of that increase is not just pure revenue to the district. It is offset by losses in seat funding.
And last year, the state recommended a compensating rate of 67.7, was it?
Yeah, last year was 60,
Yeah, that's what it says here.
67.
yeah, 67.7 was the compensating.
And then because of the increase in property values in the county, last year, if you all remember, we lost a big chunk on tangible, where Newport took some stuff off their books.
Mm-hmm.
And the state come back and recommended the 67.7. This year, they're recommending the 63.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's great.
From if you look at the amount of the general fund last year, hit our 64.9, and keep the 64.9 this year, that's a 600K increase. But out of that, we're losing 135 to 140,000 in seek from in attendance. And then how much did they drop our seek rate on?
Well, we're losing about 220,000 in seat, but if not for,
Does that include attendance? Does that, it does?
yes.
That includes the 35 plus students? with
Well, I
plus
mean,
three?
I don't have any way to factor that in.
Okay.
That would hit next year. But, that 220 would be more if not for some gains, in special education. So that kept that 220 in seat from being about, 375.
And even if we took the 63, that would still be 400K in new revenue, generated not by what we're doing, but the property values in the county going up.
Mhm. But we would still lose 375 in seat, which would put us at
About break even.
break even.
Where you get your 375 at?
So just this year, projected to get from the state is just off the seat sheets. So 4.64. Last year it was 4.46 this year. Last year it was 4.68 million.
240,000.
This must be the
And
time.
that's at 64% on the state's calculation, ain't it?
64%.
Or, I'm sorry.
If we took compensating, we'd get about 445,000 more,
Correct.
of which Mr. Arvin's saying we're gonna lose 375 of that because of
Yeah.
seek.
Yeah, we'll lose 220 special ed offset this year, otherwise it would have been 375, but that, going into the future, that, we're not gonna, special
So
ed's
it
not
means
gonna be
we'd
able
have a
to knock
net,
off.
we'd have a net plus of approximately 70,000 if we took compensating. And if we took flat,
225.
225 because of special ed this
Yeah.
year, but yes.
He
Yeah.
used the 375.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not gonna be there in the future because they're all.
This
Yeah,
year
that's
will be
just
there,
this
but
year.
Yeah.
We're gonna have a
That-
225 and 63. A net of
71
yeah,
if we do flat.
yes.
Any guesses on what
And I'm gonna,
that 1.9% does to the average $100,000 home tax
so
bill?
it's $6 per 100,000, or
Well, it doesn't do anything to because,
dollar something per
It's-
100.
oh, you mean to decrease it? I'm sorry. $1.90.
My brain's malfunctioning here.
So,
At the 1.7% there, that'd be $1.90 something cents per
Yeah.
for some people,
100,000.
it'll be about $1.90.
It'd be $1.90 for every 100,000.
So if your house, your property's valued at 100,000, you're talking about going down to the compensating rate, right? You would say.
If you did that.
If you did that, you personally, at 100,000, would save
Well,
$1.90.
$1.90 or 19?
Here,
$1.19, he's right.
Yeah.
I'm an accountant, I have to have a calculator.
649 to 630. So
So,
if you had a $100,000 home at 64.9, then going to 63, you'd be 630 in taxes as opposed to 649,
So you'd save $19.
$19.
every year for the past 5 years, I make a recommendation to the board. This year, I'm not going to. You're talking, if we do the true tax collection rate off the state's numbers, we're talking what, maybe 50,000 difference? Would it be-
For the 4%, it's about a 50,000. And that's another thing to just make sure to say when the state recommends you know, the 4%, that's a 4% increase in our revenue, not people's taxes. You know, some places do the 4% and people's taxes go down. It's based on the revenue for the district. And it's different every year.
And I think that's widely misunderstood. People think their tax bill's going up 44%.
Yeah, and sometimes it goes up some,
Yeah.
sometimes it goes down.
They also think we're raising it when their value goes up on the property, of which we have
Yeah.
nothing to do with that.
Exactly.
No, in 10 years,
Right.
That's the problem they don't understand.
So, I mean, we could cut to the compensating rate, and their tax bill could still go up because
correct.
the
Right.
value may have,
Well, it's gonna go up even if we cut the compensating rate, no matter what we do, the value of their land has already went up, or when they get their tax bill, it's gonna go. But, I did put something together for the board. Under the new Kentucky law effective July 15, 2026, significantly changed the way we school tax process. Under the revised KRS 16470, every proposed general tax rate must be advertised for at least 2 consecutive weeks on the district's website and in the county's largest curriculum newspaper. It must also be posted on the district's social media platforms. The notice must show last year's rates and revenue, the proposed rates and expected revenue, explain where additional revenue will go, and state whether the rate is recallable. That information must be read aloud into the record at the meeting where the board adopts the rate. If the proposed rate exceeds the compensating rate, which is the 63, a public hearing is required now. The hearing must occur 7 to 10 days after the second newspaper advertisement. A rate producing, which we ain't gotta worry about this, a rate producing more than 4% above compensating revenue will remain subject to recall under KRS 132.07017. So Gallatin County only, like where we've got our proposed rates and the stuff, we're talking about it tonight, we're gonna need to adopt it, let them know, and then if we take the 64.9, or, well, we ain't really taking it, if we hold where we're at, we gotta do the public hearing 7 to 10 days after and explain what we're doing with that additional, if we hold it to 4.9, that additional 600,000.
So the difference there is you just have to advertise it for 2 weeks. It even says you gotta advertise it on Facebook. If you got it on
Yes.
Facebook, that's the first statute I've ever seen that said this got a legal requirement to advertise on Facebook, but it did.
If
But
we got
if you-
basketball, any social media platform this district has, we have to advertise on it.
Yeah, so
So
social
any
media,
subcategories has to be. So, and I'm
Huh?
saying like we have Gallatin County High School, but we may have like athletics or
no,
volleyball.
you just gotta do it on the
Districts.
district's Facebook page,
Gotcha.
but you gotta do that, and then you also have a 45-day time limit, which you didn't have before, so you got a little bit tighter time crunch. I think, did you send out your timeline that you
Yeah,
created?
so,
So you've got his timeline, that lays it out for you. You got your numbers, July the 30th is when they were certified. That means you got September the 15th approximately, or 14th, to figure it out. So you just follow his timeline that he worked out.
If we do nothing, the compensating rate automatically takes.
That's right. If you miss the deadline, the compensating rate automatically kicks in.
so we will, and we can,
That's right.
we can do it tonight, just have, select a special meeting date, which we either need to do on September 9th or 10th to be able to have the second.
I would like the 9th.
Yeah,
The
then, I
10th
mean-
is the deadline, and so if we do the meeting on the 9th, I have to send that information on
Mhm.
the 10th. That is the very last
Yeah,
day they
so
should get it.
obviously.
You don't wanna be doing that every
Further
night.
I don't wanna be sending it at midnight on the 10th.
Oh,
I'd like to have
come
a little bit of leeway there. Yeah,
Live a little.
But that's what this would be, would just be
that's your
the
job.
second meeting for this would be,
But the other change is you actually have to pick a rate tonight, because the rate you
Oh.
pick tonight's gonna be in the advertisement. The statute says you pick the rate the first meeting, advertise it, and then you adopt it again the second meeting, so you kinda gotta do it twice.
What I'll do on this, if y'all want me to, I'll go start with the 63, take a roll call vote on it, do the 64.9, take a roll call vote on it, take the 4%, do a roll call vote on it. And like I said, I'm just not gonna make a recommendation this year because
Well, none of them may not pass. Maybe you ought to have a little bit of discussion, maybe.
Well,
I'm
I've still
just
got
saying.
questions about, is it exoneration,
Mhm.
the 2% thing?
Yeah,
That's the only, you did an excellent job of sending us stuff to be able to explain, but I don't understand that. So this is money that is collected from a previous year? Or
Yes.
from a change
it's the ability
in values?
to collect money that was not collected in previous years.
Okay,
So ours is 0.2%, and on the, the sheet they send us, it lets you know what your exonerations can be.
what's that dollar figure?
2,630 for last year, I believe.
2,630.
Whatever 0.2%
Bud's on it.
works out to, so it would.
My question is.
It would raise our
if
rate.
we don't take that,
Yes,
who gets it?
nobody.
Well, evidently it was collected.
In my understanding, it's uncollected money that we have the ability to collect by taking our
They're
rate.
not gonna poof and give us $2,000 just out of the air.
John,
Somebody, what's happening
well-
is somebody's collected it.
I think what's happened is, and correct me if I'm wrong here, Jake, they passed, legislation passed a thing, you paying attention, Jake, so I don't tell them.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out
Okay.
what he's talking
The
about.
exoneration rate,
Yeah.
before each property, let's say Grant went after, they had to do them individually, now he can do them one lump sum, can't he?
Yeah.
To go after that.
You
and
can
then we
collect them
have to-
on multiple, but I mean, I guess I'm trying to pull up his email here. If you, cause your point, you're still gonna get if they collect the money, the sheriff's not gonna keep the school's tax
No.
money.
Yeah.
I mean, you're gonna get the tax money. But I thought what the purpose of the email was is if you can say, I'm gonna include that exonerations for purposes of calculating what the compensating rate is, which, is gonna change the numbers slightly. You see what I'm saying? Cause you
So-
would
That's
have,
not really the way it reads.
Well, and
What?
what it says is, and again, I copied this, I didn't make this up, I just copy and pasted. The exoneration recovery is intended to allow a district to recover revenue it expected to collect in a prior year but did not receive because property assessments were later corrected or removed. So it would take our rate from 64.9 to 65.1 to be able to account for that.
Yeah,
But
which I'm against that.
what I,
so I think the reason it's allowing you to do it is because it's removing that money from what the compensating rate's based on. And it's like you're pulling that money out. Exonerations, if you pull that money out, so would result in a decrease in revenue for purposes of the compensating tax rate calculation.
Okay, but
So that would make the
there's
rate
my
bigger.
question is,
Yeah.
so we opt not to take that $2,000.
I think you gotta take the $2,000, you just wouldn't use it for purposes of calculating the compensating rate.
Correct.
You see what I'm saying? I mean, you're not gonna tell the sheriff, hey, I'm not taking the money. The question would be, is that included in the compensating tax rate calculation, or are you pulling it out? Pulling it out would allow you to get the higher rate. I mean, I hear you saying,
Can I-
we don't necessarily want the higher rate.
Go ahead, ma'am.
So, you're right, John, if we take the compensating rate, it's a little bit of money, but our rate increases to 65.1. That money is recouped from the other constituent,
and then that becomes our rate.
and that becomes our rate,
Because it does not
65.1,
go
not
away.
64.9.
Basically,
I
John,
think I kinda
we're
know where
paying
your
people's
brain's going,
taxes
and I
that
think
don't
that
wanna
you're
pay.
right when you say, but I
Well,
will say that we're one of the few schools in the state that has never checked that box. It's just something they've always automatically done, just to get a little bit more revenue. But other counties have a lot more revenue available that's not collected than we do.
Well, it's not worth the aggravation for $2,000 to make everybody
Okay.
mad and think we've raised the rates.
At
But-
at
but my-
this time, I 100% agree.
Hey,
Last year, I did not agree
I'll
with
just
that.
say this on this, that's all I got to say on this subject. Why should the people that's paying their taxes have to pay people's taxes that ain't paying?
That's fair. I mean, that's a valid beat. But I mean, checking the box is gonna
That's how-
increase
that's
everybody
how I
else's
understand
rate.
it to work.
But it's sure it's gonna increase more than $2,000, isn't it?
It should.
Yeah.
But again, we have a very little amount of money that's not collected, our portion,
Yeah.
because our collection rate is so high. So a few years ago, before we had this sheriff and this attorney, our collection rate was a lot lower. So that portion, for us to be able to recoup that would have been a lot more beneficial.
Okay.
Did that help anybody or just confuse people more?
Checking for weapons. What the tax
Well, I'm on, yeah, I mean, I'm on the same page. I mean, if you check the box, everybody else's rate's gonna go up at the end of the day.
Don't check the box. Don't go into the light.
What about the aircraft box? Since you're all talking taxes, when are you gonna check the aircraft box?
Well, I'm betting we can agree on that. Anybody else want an exoneration rate?
No.
You're speaking for everybody. You only get to
I
speak
just
for
said
you.
no. That means no.
No for me. So if that's where we're at, we can take that off the table. Now we only got three things we're done. I can make a recommendation that we don't want to do the 4%. I bet I've got 100% support on that too.
You sure?
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, I don't want anything that raises the rates unless we have to raise the rates.
We're still open here for a little bit. Y'all keep discussing. I'm just signing them all.
I feel like we
off.
have at least another year if we have the 225. But again, if it's not gonna really increase, or you're saying it's $19 or something of that nature.
Well, money people, if we take the compensating rate, which would lower the rate,
If you take
how do
the
we feel about our ability to pay the bills?
Okay, here.
Great question, because that's what I
I'm
heard.
gonna tell you, I feel good about that, because the compensating rate only gets us about 50,000. We're still gonna lose some seed money. We're still gonna, probably the audit starts this week, started this week. My carryover money probably is gonna be low, $150,000, so that's gonna reduce the revenue that is in the tenant budget. So if you take the compensating, I believe that we'll end up in the hole a little bit. Do you disagree with that? David and I have talked these numbers till we're both halfway sick of them, I think. So if I'm saying something that you think is not correct.
What's your contingency in your working budget?
That's what I
My
was getting ready to
contingency
say.
right now is $779,000.
What percent is that?
Just above 4%, and we cannot drop below that. If we drop below that, I've got 10 more reports that I have to put on the website every single month. But as long as we're at 4% and above.
Thought it used to be 2%.
2% is when KDE starts giving you a call.
It used to be
Drop below
5%.
2%. The law that they passed said that if you have, and it's really kind of silly because it says, this report, the reports that I showed you, and then the line says, if you have a contingency of 4% or above. If we drop below that, then there's a list of another 5 or 6 reports, one of which is the credit card statement, which you can see in that invoice report. Every single invoice we pay, the credit card will be listed on that, so I'm not sure what their thinking was there. We're paying the cost of Franklin County, Frankfurt, Jefferson County, and all of their budget mess-ups. The small schools still are gonna have to do all of that stuff that they put into place to try to watch those
Here, I'll put
people.
this on record too. I've asked the question. They say we have to advertise that, do a hearing, but last year, according to them, if we didn't take the 66.7 or whatever it was, we would have to do a hearing to tell why we held our 64.9.
Yeah, that's just the government. It
So
doesn't have to
Mary
make
Jo-
sense. It's just what they decided.
Yeah, so pretty much if we take the compensating, we're kind of taking a risk.
You're taking a risk of losing about $200,000 to $250,000 in
But we're
revenue.
gaining how much?
We were gaining the 400,000 if you keep it flat.
Well,
Yeah,
there we
that's
go.
the flat.
That's all we needed to know.
Yeah.
Flat. That's my
I almost
opinion
could tell you
about
I'm
how
out
it's
of
gonna
town
fall out.
in 2
You
weeks.
disagree
You
with
can't
me?
come to
You
that
better
meeting.
be here.
I mean, I don't like to run from it. If we can have another meeting when I can be there, but I'm already scheduled to be out. I just got grilled by my wife. I'm not gonna be here in 2 weeks. I didn't know I had a meeting that was gonna be in 2 weeks if we take the flat rate. But I think that's.
I think you'll have another week. It'd be 3 weeks. Because we gotta run it for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
You might miss the next meeting, but this will be a special meeting. It'll be the following week.
What would that date be?
The 9th, if you all agree to it.
Bring it out.
Those, I don't think
that about
after tonight you can change the rate, is the problem. Because we have to advertise it for 2 weeks.
Mhm.
So you can't have
I mean-
another special meeting in that 2 weeks? You can't get it to
Well,
the
they can
newspaper
have,
fast
they can
enough?
have another
No.
meeting this
You can't
week.
get it, okay.
No.
But
We
we
have
have,
another
we have
week?
to get our ad to the paper on Monday.
She
So
just-
it's
Oh,
not
Monday?
Yeah.
on
So you got
Monday.
the month, you could do one on
I'm
Thursday.
gone
I mean-
the 24th.
Yeah, I mean, you could do another one later on this week.
Okay, so
Right.
September 9th,
Of
I'm good.
August.
Oh, yeah,
This-
we're looking at September.
I'm good in September. I can be here for any meeting in September.
You don't have, when does your season start?
I thought they said 2 weeks after
Well-
we do this, so if we do this,
Well, 2 weeks after it runs.
It's gotta advertise for 2 weeks.
So it can't come out till next Wednesday.
Yeah. We have to
Okay.
get the ad to the paper on Monday, so if you're not comfortable with making the decision tonight, you can call a special meeting Thursday or Friday night or sometime during the day. But it has to go in the paper, so once it hits the paper, you don't have the option to change it at that last meeting. It has
well,
to-
That's
I'm
right.
fine.
here-
It's just that last week of August, I'm out of town.
The flat rate is what it is right now.
Yeah, 64.
Yeah.
So we're not changing anything at that rate.
The reason we are gonna get more revenue is because the property assessments have gone up.
Yeah.
And that's on the PBA's office, not
Mm-hmm.
the school.
So I'm gonna make a motion, and, you know, it might die or whatever, that we leave it at the flat rate of 64.9.
I'm gonna run through them all, Becky, so we gotta have a
Alright.
record of it.
You got a motion.
Correct. What I'm gonna do,
Well, if everybody says yeah to that one, then we're good.
so I got a
One of
motion to
those
hold it
second.
64.9 by Mr. Burgett.
Yeah, that's good. I like it.
Do I hear
That
a
was your
second?
Yep.
I'll second it.
John seconds. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries 4-1. Moving on.
Did you wanna bring up real quick the aircraft? You've never taxed
Oh.
aircraft? Are you gonna
Probably
tax
not.
it? Oh, okay.
Somebody will probably kill me. But it's something for you to think about, either maybe
Why not? We
now
tax
is-
people's
Well,
vehicles.
we check, on the form I have to fill out, there's a box that you check where the people who have boats in the
Oh,
area,
God, well,
they
okay.
pay a
Oh,
registration fee, boats and cars, I mean, you know.
Oh, I know.
So we now have aircraft stored at the airport. There's a box on there for aircraft. I don't know how that would work.
I don't own an airplane, so
Most people do not, and most people who are gonna store their airplanes on there are not residents of the county.
I'm kinda surprised you don't tax the airplanes already though. Carroll County does. I've always said, I
Yeah,
don't
me
think there's a
too.
single plane in Carroll County,
Yeah.
but they would
The
do it every
library's
year.
been had that box checked for years, just
Yeah.
in case. And I don't even know really how it works, I don't know if they're required to register, but I'm assuming it would come through the clerk's office, it's just, you know, I'm still new here, and it's.
You'd have to
when I
impose it
first
by
went to
motion,
work
though.
here, I saw that,
Yeah.
and they're like, no, we don't ever check that.
Well, I'll make a motion that we check the aircraft box.
Right, so it's gonna be add
I need
aircraft to the rate.
Okay, give me 1 second here. Motion to add item
I'm just gonna do it under that.
8J.
Under the tax question.
Yeah, if you wanna do it, yeah.
Yeah, let's make sure
Okay.
it's legal, Jay. 8J. Motion.
He's amending the agenda to add that. I was just gonna do it under tax presentation, but
It's just gonna charge aircrafts, just like boats get charged.
John moved.
It's a registration.
Registration fee.
We get a
Oh,
portion of that.
John so moved.
Anybody got a second, or you gonna leave me?
I'm sorry, what is it?
it's amending the
John-
agenda.
A second.
We're not gonna leave you hanging.
Miss Amanda seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 5-0 to amend. Motion to check the box to tax aircraft. John moved. I need a second on that.
Second.
2 seconds.
Me.
Amanda. I always said I'd never vote for a tax, so. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Aye. 4-1.
Well, if my pickup truck gets taxed, an airplane ought to get taxed.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I agree, I just said I never voted for taxes.
I personally think it's something they never thought about because they never thought about it.
Motion to, we got anything else on the taxes? John moved to adjourn.
Second.
Wow, that was quick. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries 5-0 to adjourn.
Figure.
Hey, thank you all.
Right, thank